So on the passenger side of the machine, next up past the hopper, we have the wash down unit. Behind this compartment here is a pressure washer that's operated by a hydraulically driven motor that ties back to your main hydraulic system. So on the far right of your upper valve bank, there's a lever marked pressure washer. You pull that down, it stays in position, and that brings your pump on for your pressure washer. Important features of the pressure washer, you have two options. So you can either run off of hose water or something there on site. We recommend something potable, but close to it clean is the big thing. If you don't have water on site, this is a 50-gallon water tank that will then gravity feed down and into your pressure washer. When you're not operating off of the tank, you close this valve. Inversely, operating off of the tank, you just open that valve there. Beyond the tank and the pump, when you're done at the end of the day, this lowest valve here, you turn that into its horizontal position, and then that drains everything out of the system. Pump, tank, any water within the tube or the plumbing itself, all drains out the bottom. So also attached is a 50-foot retractable hose reel. On that we have our pressure washer wand. This comes with a selection of various tips for the wand itself. This is something you want to keep an eye on as the months get colder and colder. So we recommend winterizing this as soon as your temps just start dropping below 40 degrees at night. That process is simple. In this tank, you would just add some RV antifreeze, and that antifreeze then would cycle through the system. And as soon as you start seeing foam and red fluid coming out of your wand, you've got enough RV antifreeze in the system. Inside of this small tool compartment, when you first get the machine, you'll notice this little black fox. So this black fox has a handful of small specialty tools that help a lot in fine-tune the machine over time. We have a pressure gauge with test hose. So this connects to 3 different test points inside of the dash in the control compartment. If we're having any issues with hydraulic pressure on the system, master system side, with the load sense side of the system, or the return side, this pressure gauge system will be able to read all of that. Next up inside of the box, we have 2 different types of take-up bolt adjusters. So the smaller one will work for the primary conveyor. It's just a large socket with a 1/2-inch impact drive on the end. So you use this for tensioning up your primary conveyor, and then this is your feed conveyor take-up adjuster. Same concept, large socket, 1/2-inch drive. Inside this box, you'll also find spare fittings for your pressure washer hose. And then for anybody who's looking to run detergent or something else through the pressure washer, there's the added hose for introducing soap and things like that through the pressure washer system. For keeping an eye on your pressure washer maintenance, there is a cutout just inside of the toolbox compartment. Through that cutout, we're able to see the sight glass for the pressure washer pump itself. So it's a good weekly check with your guys, thumbing through, sighting that in and making sure that you have adequate oil levels on that pressure washer. Optional is the dust control system. When you press this button on, pump comes on, it uses 12-volt power from the battery and runs water up to the feed conveyor head. There's 2 different variations of nozzles on the feed conveyor sprayers. So you can either do a really low flow, which will span this tank out over 8 to 9 hours worth of run, or there's a high flow nozzle. So better suited for if you had water on site, you could connect to this hose fitting, and then that would flow directly to your feed conveyor dust control bar and be able to better soak down material.